already asked me how I am, so I don't know if we need to repeat that or not for the recording. But you can tell me what you've done since we've last talked. I think it's been about 2 weeks. Um, Anastasia, how have you been? Can you hear me?
Слышно. Очень плохо. I'm here, but very, very bad.
I'm not sure why. What's the problem? Is it like static, like a robot, or is it quiet?
Настя,
Да-да.
ты его не слышишь?
Тебя слышу.
Хорошо меня слышишь?
Да, тебя очень хорошо слышу. Ну, вот у него
Can you hear me
микрофон
now?
туда-сюда.
I
Yes.
can. Yes, Scott, I can hear you. Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I don't know.
hear you.
Okay. I muted and unmuted my microphone, so maybe that helps. I'm not sure what happens maybe when I click start record. Something
okay.
got strange. Anastasia, how have you been since we last talked?
I don't understand, really.
So the question is, how have you been? Which is like the question, how are you, but over a period of time. So if I say, how have you been the last 2 weeks, I'm asking not just how are you now, but how were you kind of the whole time?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm very fine.
Good. Natalia, how have you been?
Very well, I think. So I did not really a lot, but last week only one happened something in my life since we speak last time or
since we spoke
last time. Yes, just that I had a job interview. My life was for the moment very boring.
Wow.
So.
Anna, hello. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, hello. Anna.
Hello. Hello, Gil.
Hello.
How is your toddler, your baby?
Sorry. Yes, it's my daughter, Alina.
Does anyone know Yekaterina, who came and left? And does anyone know if she'll be back?
Katarina? Which Katarina?
Someone joined and then left.
Yeah, some girls have a problem with I think with internet or connection. Yes, some girls send a message in the group, but they cannot join the lesson. I don't know why.
Okay.
Now Lena is here.
Hi.
Yes, hello.
A little bit too
Hello.
late.
Hello, Elena.
Hi.
I don't know if we've met. I can't remember. I don't think so. Am I wrong?
Yeah, last time.
Last time.
Yeah, last time.
Studying in Germany then.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
then yeah,
very,
now I remember. I have notes on all of the people that I meet in these group lessons, but I've met about, I think, 10 to 12 of you, so. And I think there's about 3 or 4 Elenas, so it gets a little confusing. How are you? How have you been, Elena?
I'm fine. I'm just from my vacation. I was in Portugal 10 days. So it was very active holidays. because we rent a car, and we were on the south coast of Portugal, then in Lisbon and Porto. So it was really interesting, and I have so much feelings. Or many,
So
I
many,
don't know.
so many.
Many, yes. That's all.
Okay. I don't have any news from the last time since we've talked. I already told Marina I will not be available next week because next week I'm getting married next Saturday.
Oh,
So
great.
a lot of my family is coming to visit, so I will be very busy.
Congratulations.
So I probably won't see anyone until at least 2 weeks from now. So I will have news, but currently nothing has happened.
Very good news.
Yeah, it's exciting news. Very, very stressful news, I think, for both of us. These past few months have been very busy. At the same time, both of us are still studying. I'm studying for my master's. She's studying for her bachelor's. And we both are writing. She's writing her diploma work. I'm writing my dissertation. I have exams soon. So a lot of things all happening at the same time.
You will have a big wedding?
Not very big.
Just family?
Yeah, just family. At the civil ceremony at the Zach's, some of her friends will be coming. But at the kind of dinner afterwards, it'll just be family. There's going to be about 17 of us in total.
That's good. Oh, that's
So 10 of her relatives, 5 of mine.
How you can say Zachs in English?
I honestly don't know.
But
because
how you call it in English?
I don't know because I've never interacted with the office because I've never gotten married in English.
Okay.
So typically with weddings, there's what's called the civil ceremony, and then often in America we have a religious ceremony as well. So the religious ceremony is the kind of big celebration in the church.
Okay.
The civil ceremony is the really boring signing papers part. From my understanding, most Russian weddings just have the civil part and they make it kind of pretty. I don't think civil ceremonies in the US are very interesting. It's basically just the 2 people and maybe a witness.
Okay.
And I don't know what the building, the place where it is called. I've only, I think, ever been to one wedding that I can remember. So this will be my second wedding.
Okay.
Let's see. Anna. Hello. Can you hear everything? I see that you're muted. Is that because of the baby?
Аня.
Не понимаю.
Do you understand everything?
Ты понимаешь все, Ань?
Нет, я плохо слышу.
Okay.
If you have any questions, please ask, and I will try to explain. Is everyone else under?
I think she has a very bad connection because I also don't hear her.
As usual.
Anna, you have something with your connection, so.
And then do the 3 of you understand me fine?
I understand you. Not everything, but yeah.
If you have any questions,
Same.
if you have any questions about any words or any phrases, please ask so I know what to explain. If you don't ask, I don't know what you don't understand. And trying to guess and explain everything will take a very long time.
I try to understand 99%, so yeah.
I understand better when I when I look the record record
Recording.
At the video.
recording video, yeah. So I как узнала?
Learn or find out.
Find out. I think find out. It's
Yeah,
better.
so there's a phrasal verb to find out.
Okay, I find
out to learn.
It's the
that I can make subtitles when I when I see repeat video. So and it's much better for me too. But I don't know. For example, now I don't understand every word, but later, später, later, when I see this recording video, I understand better. So without subtitles too.
That's good. A lot of listening just needs a lot of practice. I know that for a long time I would understand mostly what when Russians were speaking, what they were saying, but I wouldn't know every word. I still don't know every word, I would say, when people speak, but it gets easier with time, with practice. I have the benefit of hearing my future in-laws talk every day. All of my classes are in Russian, so I hear Russian probably a lot more than you hear English.
Yeah,
if I had
sure.
to guess.
For sure.
The more exposure you can get to English, so reading more or watching more, it's always helpful. If you like music, I would encourage listening to music in English, trying to understand as much as you can.
Yeah, it is very, very curious because now I start to understand almost every song that I heard in the past in English, and I just like this song, and now I start to understand this. Not everything for sure, but yeah, more and more.
Music can be a good way to hear a lot of slang as well.
Yeah.
A lot more casual speech. Music is usually not very formal. For formal speech, listening to news is probably the best. So maybe the most relevant for you all would be BBC News, at least in Germany. I imagine American news is maybe not as easy to have access to.
Yeah, our TV show. I like to watch TV shows.
Some really good kinds of shows I would say to listen to would be talk shows, so late night talk shows. One I like in particular, the host is named Conan, the big funny guy with orange hair. The good thing about these is they interview different, usually celebrities every show, and celebrities will be from various places, so you can get exposure to different accents.
Oh, okay.
One show I like, but it's not the same, is the John Oliver show. He is British, but he lives in, I think, New York. So he makes kind of political comedy videos, mostly about the U.S. But Other good talk shows would be Jimmy Fallon. I think that's how it's spelled. There's maybe 2 L's. It's also Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
And I'm sure others that I don't know, but these could be interesting to hear kind of people's natural speech. People on the news speak a little more,
Yeah, I know.
a little less
Absolutely.
naturally, I would say.
Yeah. I have to check. I need something new because now we watch How I Met Your Mother,
Mm-hmm.
and it is almost the end. So I
Don't
need
watch the
something.
last season.
We are now at 7. I think it is in total is it 9.
Mm-hmm.
So and after How I Met Your Mother, I need something new. So that's a good idea to check.
Anastasia, do you watch any English language TV shows?
No. But I will, yes, I understand because it's it good for practice, but I don't watch now, yes.
Mm-hmm. Elena, do you watch any shows?
No, I don't have any time for it.
Yes.
And I need or I have to learn German too. So and but when I was in Portugal, I had no choice, and we watched movies in English. So and I would say I don't understand everything, but I hear some phrases that we learned here in this course. For example, looking for. I mean that we used this expression when and the word is before.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, for example, which expression, which, I don't know. I can't repeat it. For example, I hear it, but I can't say it and repeat, and it's my problem. For example, now too, I have, I don't know, blockade.
Block.
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 Okay, blockade. It was in German.
Germany.
So, German.
There is an English word, blockade, which I assume is maybe connected to the German word, but that's usually a military term. To make a kind of military wall to stop transport of something.
Okay.
Usually with ships. For example, I think the U.S. has blockaded Cuba a few times in our history to stop transport of things in or out. Anna, do you watch any TV shows? Do you have any time to watch anything with a young child?
Yes, I sometimes watch movie how I Met Your Mother. So, but now I haven't free time because I have a little baby.
I understand.
I listened. I went to the go. I listen. I always listen BBC radio. but mm, I don't understand.
Uh, I understand.
But I listen to не слушай его.
Just even if you don't understand everything, any listening is a good experience to hear the language. So I would say good job. Maybe when your child starts watching cartoons, you can watch English cartoons so you can get some experience as well. I'm not sure. I've been trying to think of similar TV shows to How I Met Your Mother. Maybe the closest one is Friends, but I've never watched Friends. I didn't watch a lot of those old, what we call sitcoms.
Yeah. Or King of Queens.
Never watched King of Queens.
Really?
The only, probably the most modern TV shows I watched are Rick and Morty, which is not similar to How I Met Your Mother. I watched Breaking Bad, which again, not similar. Stranger Things, which is a kind of horror thriller mystery TV show. I watched Orange is the New Black for a few seasons before I stopped. I know right now a really popular show that I haven't watched yet is Black Mirror, but it's not a comedy. I think it's more of like a sci-fi thriller. There is one comedy show that I've seen a few episodes of called Two Broke Girls. That's kind of funny.
Okay. Need to check.
But I don't watch very much TV.
To be honest, me too. No, me neither. Because only if I'm in Belgium and we have to watch something together. So then we watch How I Met Your Mother, and or some movies in English and English subtitles, so that we can watch it together. But if I'm at home and after my work, I don't have really a lot of time to watch TV or some movie. Most of the time on a weekend.
Has anyone gone to see a movie recently?
Recently, I forgot what is this recently?
Not long ago.
For kurzem.
Недавно.
For kurzem.
For kurzem, yeah. In English?
No, in general.
Oh.
Although I don't know any German movies, so.
Oh,
German, yeah.
There are German movies. Oh my god.
Captain Marvel.
Yes, yeah.
Captain. Yeah, we were in the cinema, so it was a premiere, and when Natalia was by us to visit with his boyfriend. It was on Christmas. So, and we watched Calvin Alone. at home.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
At home alone. Okay. So we watched in German, but with English subtitles, and it was for me really interesting, because I read and understand better as when I hear that. So because I understand Germany speech better, yeah. And it was really interesting to сравнить, как сравнивать,
Compare, to compare.
yeah, to compare German and English, how people what they say in German and how it say in English. So I think two foreign languages are much better for me, for example. And I would learn. At first, I wanted to learn English in German, so not in Russian language. I mean, because I saw as that in that German grammar is almost the same like English grammar, yeah.
Similar.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
and it would be for me, I think, a little bit easier.
I think German grammar is a little more complicated because of
maybe,
genders, and maybe the case endings with the articles.
But not for me now. Not for me, because I knew I know this and that's why it would be really cool when I could to make a parallel. So I don't know, but in this semester I have English, and the level is really much higher than here. So and I'm excited. I don't know. I have to learn to study really very much because it will be I think business English, and maybe it will be it will be much better for me too to improve my English there in the university. So
it could be a very good challenge, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes difficult is better. I think if something is too easy, it can be boring and uninteresting, and maybe you don't want to learn as much, or you don't try as much.
Yeah. And it's always better, I think, if you have a goal and you think it is so difficult to reach it, then you try to do everything for it.
Yes, and I know that we should make a presentation. So and I know I have как опыт.
Experience.
Experience.
Yeah, I have an experience with presentations in German, and I can say that it helps really. So and I don't know. I think that I can learn English quickly when I do something by myself. I look for material.
Material.
I don't know material information. Yeah, and I think what is better, what I need now or not. And it takes really much time, but it helps. So.
Anna, do you watch any movies with your child yet?
Fine.
Also,
Do you watch any movies with your daughter?
um, no, my daughter is not a movie because she's she's so little.
Mm-hmm.
She will watch movie when your will be 3 years old.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, I don't have any kids, so I don't know how good or bad of an idea that
Not
is.
yet, Scott, but I think very, very soon.
I'm not sure how soon. Probably not too soon, but maybe in about 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Anna, did you learn any words in English with your daughter? For example, cat or something. So
Yes,
son.
yes, we have a kids book where I show her animals, cats, dogs, cow, geese.
Great.
do you practice animal sounds with her as well?
Yes, um, I learned all animals when I saw the words my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Good. Anastasia, have you seen any movies recently? Did you say Captain Marvel or did someone else?
No, I don't see this because I don't have time, and
Mm-hmm.
when I have free time, I prepare reading. I like reading books. And what about movie? I don't see Captain Marvel. I don't like this, как сказать, комиксы. I don't like comics because I don't see Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like
That's
fantasy?
I like fantasy about vampires,
Mm-hmm.
like
A
this.
line.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
A new season of Games of Thrones comes soon.
yes. I like this.
I knew it.
Game of Thrones. I like very much. Yes, and I see it in one time of year.
Did you
good.
watched it in Russian or not?
In Russian because I see with my husband and he don't
He's not
know
interested
English.
in English, yeah?
Yes, yes,
He doesn't need English.
yes.
Okay.
A good if you ever want to watch a kind of supernatural fantasy TV show, there's one called Teen Wolf. which is about werewolves, so people who turn into wolves. But the main characters are all in high school, so teenagers.
Something like Twilight.
Yeah, but
Twilight,
not
yeah.
awful.
Oh.
Oh.
The first two seasons are pretty interesting, and then it gets less interesting. So it's a supernatural TV show I would recommend. A really good one that's older is, maybe you've heard of it, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's an older TV show from the
Can you
late
write
90s.
us this?
Yeah, that is something
it's
what
in the chat.
I want to ask, because you write all the time,
okay.
but where?
I
don't see it.
So
Where
can
where
you
can
see
check
the
it?
group
Me
chat
too.
or no?
No.
Let's see. If you look on the left part of your screen, there should be a kind of chat box that you can open. Can you see the chat? No?
No.
Okay, so on kind of on the left side of the screen, I have an information bar, and then the top one, the top symbol in this bar is a chat box that I can open, and then there's a chat on the right side.
Maybe it is possible on a computer, but not on a
not on
a phone. Yeah.
I have sent now hey in the chat. Do you see it?
I see this. It's a different chat than where I've been writing.
I don't see.
I don't see that. I don't have option.
I don't see. The same station.
Very
it's here in Hangout when you go back with this стрелочка file arrow. Yeah.
Yeah, now I see it. But I don't see anything from Scott.
I don't see. Yeah, yes. I don't see something anything from Scott. Maybe can you write here, Scott?
I should be able to. Let me see. If I can find the right one. I have too many of these. Let's see. So the last TV show I mentioned.
Oh, I see. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy.
You are.
That's really an old movie.
Can you repeat, Scott?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's from the late 1990s, early 2000s. It's about a young girl who is a kind of mystical kind of warrior that fights vampires. And it's also a kind of teenage drama at the same time. But it's I think it's very well made. It's very entertaining. I watched it. I watched the whole series one summer when I was in college because I had time. There's, I think, 7 seasons. I think I would say watch the first 5, which are really good, and then seasons 6 and 7 are okay. But it's a really entertaining show. It's quite funny. I'm not sure why you don't see the group chat. I'll see if I can ask Marina about that after the lesson to see how you guys can see it. but I don't have any other TV show recommendations. I don't think. The last movie I saw was Captain Marvel because I like the Marvel movies quite a lot. I think they're very entertaining and very fun, which is usually what I want when I see a movie. It's just very simple entertainment.
Yeah. Nastya, you can see vampires daily or
There's
theirs. Дневники вампиров.
Vampire Diaries.
No, I don't. I didn't.
You can see. I mean, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's really very interesting. I didn't watch this, but I heard.
I heard too, really, but I will. Thank you.
Another good vampire show is True Blood. It's maybe also a little older, but I personally liked True Blood more than I liked Vampire Diaries. It's a little less romance drama and more, just, I think, interesting stories. So I wanted to ask the two ones here that speak German if you ever watch any Quentin Tarantino movies. Because sometimes he's had German in some of his recent movies. I was wondering if the German in those movies is any good. But if
I
you
don't
haven't
like Tarantino.
And you, Natalia, do you like Quentin Tarantino?
No, and I find German movies I don't like them. So I never except I have on one movie I watched this. I think I was something about 20 years old. CC.
CC.
Yes, it was my favorite movie. I don't know why, but maybe because I want always to be a princess. I don't know why. But, Scott, do you know this movie? No. Oh,
I don't think I don't think I've ever seen any German movies.
No, that's not even a German movie. I think.
It's like Angelica, and do you know this? Angelica. So Angelica, do you know Nastya? CC.
CC. Yes, I know Angelica, but I don't know CC.
Yeah, it is actually it is not a really German movie. I think it is Switzerland movie.
Switzerland.
Or no,
Maybe.
Austria, not Switzerland. Yes, Austria. And yes, but it is the only one. But I don't really like German movies. So
I think the only thing that I really know about Austria is Arnold Schwarzenegger. So.
Yeah.
So
Everybody knows.
I think he's probably the only reason most Americans know that Austria exists. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure. But his movies are quite fun.
I know why you like this movie, Natalia, because it's your mother's favorite movie. So and she shows me too because it was in German. It's in German, and I think they.
You mean
I think they learned German language with this movie. I mean, so she
I don't know.
said
It is like an Russian девчата. I watched this movie. I think 100 times. I don't know. So it's just like my favorite movie. I don't know. So, but it is the only one. I don't have another one.
Okay.
Anastasia, you said you like to read. Do you ever read any English books?
No, only Russian.
Have you ever tried to read any English books?
Yes, I want to try. And yesterday I talk about it with my colleagues, um, and I thinking about it, about English books, and maybe you know which books.
If you like fantasy books, I would say good books to start would maybe be Harry Potter books,
Harry
um,
Potter.
because they're not too difficult, especially
Mm-hmm.
the first few books, because they're
Harry
written.
Potter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're sort of between children's books and teenage books, so the language is not too difficult. If you've
Mm-hmm.
ever seen the movies, then you'll also understand the plot, so you'll
Mm-hmm.
know what's happening. And as the books progress, they get more difficult because kind of the audience, the readers, are growing up with the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Other kind of fantasy novels. I don't read much. I can't say I don't read much fantasy. I'm currently reading Lord of the Rings, which
Oh.
is fantasy but very difficult. There was a book I did read. I don't remember what it's called. About kind of a boy and his mentor that hunt monsters. Um, any of maybe old Dracula books, but I'm not sure how difficult they are.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay,
there's,
I will try Harry Potter.
I think
I
Harry Potter is a good
I
starting
like this
place.
idea.
Yeah, it's a
Nastya, you can
well-written story and it's not too difficult.
yeah, you can buy a book in two languages, for example, Russian and English. Like me, I have a book about Sherlock Holmes in German and English, but I don't read it because when I read it, I understand all in German and nothing
In English.
in English. Yes, and uh, I get sad and mad. I don't know. So it is not so easy.
Yes.
Anna, can you see the chat in Hangouts that people have written in?
Question that blue.
No,
Uh,
can you see the chat? Can you see what people wrote?
uh,
Hold on.
I see True Blood. Yeah,
Anna, can you see that?
it was for 7.
Can you see?
Um, do you see this? I wrote hello, Anna.
I don't understand.
Ты видишь чат, в котором он пишет?
Пишет он сейчас.
Yes, I see.
Okay. And I have a recommendation for you with books. There is a children's writer called Dr. Seuss. I think he died a long time ago, but he wrote a lot of children's books in English. There might be some interesting books with interesting pictures for you and your daughter. I don't know any other children's books, but I read Dr. Seuss when I was a baby, or not a baby, when I was learning to read. So that could be fun for you too.
Scott, do you have some favorite movies in Russian?
In Russian, I think I haven't seen many Russian movies. I've seen some American movies in Russian.
Okay. And some very old Russian movies? Something like you have to ask your girlfriend. I have a recommendation for you. It is my favorite movie.
Our favorite.
Yes,
our family.
You can say it's in English is girls. In Russian девчата. You have to write and ask your girlfriend. It's a very nice movie, very old one.
I will ask.
And very funny.
Yes, and very funny because my mother told me last time she told me it was not a comedy movie in this time because it was something about it was after the war. Yeah, love, but it was
a little bit
after the war, Second World War, and it was not comedy movie. But now in our time, it is a comedy movie. But it is really comedy movie because I have to love everything every time.
Do you know what I like? Королева бензоколонки. I don't know. Как бензоколонка in English?
Queen of Gas, maybe.
Queen of
Tank Station. It is for me. That's the same. It is from the same story.
Yeah.
I've seen Night Watch, Nocной Dozor. I've seen. I don't remember what it was called. It was a movie. The setting is the revolution in 1917. It's a love story. And the main characters are making a movie during the movie. I don't remember what it's called. I've seen one Russian war movie that was during the Second World War, but again, I don't remember what it's called. I want to see Legend number 17, but I haven't yet. But that's mostly just because I like hockey. But I haven't seen many Russian movies. I've seen part of Battleship Potemkin. The scene on the stairs I've seen. I think in Odessa.
Odessa.
But I haven't seen many Russian movies.
There is a new Russian movie, really very cool, about basketball in USSR. Движение вверх.
I don't remember what it is in English. I think it's moving up or just up.
Yes,
or going up maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So.
I don't generally like sports movies very much because I don't like sports very much. But sometimes they're fun. I think maybe one of the most famous American sports movies is the Rocky series with Sylvester Stallone, the boxing movies. We have, as far as hockey goes, Miracle on Ice. I think that was when we beat the Soviets in the Olympics. I think that's what that movie's about, so maybe you all won't like it very much. There's a lot of American football movies, but again, I don't think that would be very interesting for Russians. I don't know any other sports movies. I don't think.
Rocky.
Yeah. Rocky is okay. I didn't see it when it came out because I wasn't born. I've seen some of the newer ones, and I think they're okay. The old Rocky movies are very popular. Rockies, I think 1, 2, and 4 are the popular ones. I don't ever hear anything about Rocky 3. I don't know why. I think I've only seen Rocky 6 and maybe 1.
There is, I don't know, I can continue about Creed. Do you know Creed and Creed
Yeah.
2?
Apollo Creed, I think.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I didn't see that movie either. But people said it was very good.
No. For me, for example, first part was really interesting. I don't say cool, but really interesting. And second part, I don't know. So for one time.
I remember I saw 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago, I saw new movie, Green Book. Do you know?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I know too.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, and I like very much. My recommendation.
Yeah, I want to see it at some point. Recently, my fiance and I watched The Help, which if you liked The Green Book, you might like The Help. It's also kind of about the civil rights time in the United States. Прислуга, I think, in Russian.
Прислуга.
Yep.
So it's about black maids, I think, in Mississippi. I think during the 1950s or the 1960s. So it's a very, very dangerous time in the United States. A lot of people were killed during these times, notably President Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr. One of President Kennedy's brothers was also assassinated, and another black leader, Malcolm X. So it was a very bad decade in American history, but very important decade also. So that movie was quite good, I thought. Another movie I want to see, but I haven't seen, about kind of black and white relations is Black Klansman, which also came out last year. It's about the Ku Klux Klan in the United States, which is a group of white supremacist, white racists that in the past murdered a lot of black people. So the movie's about I think a black police detective joining the Klan to get information and I think arrest a lot of the members. So if you liked the Green Book, maybe that would be interesting as well.
It will be.
But I don't think I have any other movie recommendations right now. I need to watch more movies to get more recommendations. Does anyone have any questions before we finish? We're just about out of time.
Can you send the other stuff that you chatted before? Can you send it to the group somehow? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just retype everything when we finish.
Okay. Would be nice, yeah.
So you'll have all of that, and then I'll see
You did it already last time or not? Because I asked myself, you write all the time, but I don't see it. And
yeah, so I've been writing in this side chat, but if you can't see it, then it's not very helpful. So I'll see if I can figure that out.
It would be nice.
Well, I'll type all that out into the chat. It has been nice talking with you all again. I hope you enjoyed the lesson as well. And I guess I'll see you all in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
When is it? Next week or this week?
Next Saturday on the 30th.
Okay. So I hope everything will be fine.
Yeah, me too.
And you will say yes.
I plan on saying yes.
Nice. Very good. It was nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you for lesson.
Everyone have a nice week.
Thank you. I wish you the same.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Girls, bye.
Bye.
Bye.